Hello students, welcome back. So this is the another video of class 10th biology, and as you know we are studying chapter 1, that is life processes. And you know that there are four life processes given in this chapter. So first of all, we are talking about the nutrition, and here the another topic of this chapter is nutrition in humans. So in this video we are going to talk about the nutrition in humans. So you know that humans are the heterotrophs. And what are heterotrophs? Heterotrophs are those organisms which obtain their food from the other organisms. So we humans are the heterotrophs because we cannot make our own food, and we obtain our food from the plants and animals. We get the food product from plants and animals, so we are the heterotrophs. And in our body the nutrition completes in 5 steps. What are these 5 steps? These 5 steps are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So in human the nutrition completes in 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So one by one we will discuss about all these 5 steps and how do they take place in our body. So all these 5 steps of nutrition take place in the digestive system. So for each and every function in our body we have the system, and here the for nutrition we have a system that is called digestive system. And the human digestive system mainly consists of alimentary canal and its associated glands. In our digestive system we have the alimentary canal and the associated glands. Now, alimentary canal consists of various organs. In our alimentary canal there are various organs which work together. And what are these? These are mouth, esophagus, that is also called food pipe, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. So the alimentary canal starts from our mouth and it goes, then it connects with the esophagus, then there is another organ, stomach, then the small intestine, then large intestine. These are the organs that are connected together, and collectively they make our alimentary canal. Now the digestive glands which are associated with the human digestive system, these are salivary glands, liver, and pancreas, that we will talk about in the further in this video. Next, the first step that is in our nutrition, that is ingestion. So what is ingestion? Ingestion is the process of taking food into the body, is called ingestion. When we take in the food into our body, that process is called ingestion. And for ingestion we have mouth, and with the help of hand we ingest the food into our mouth. Like you can see, this boy is ingesting the food with the help of hand, and it is ingesting the food in its mouth. So ingestion takes place in our mouth with the help of the hand. So next process is digestion. Next step of nutrition is digestion. So whatever the food that we take in, that food contain large insoluble food particle. So that has to be broken down into smaller water soluble molecule. So the breaking down of large insoluble food particle into small water soluble molecule, that process is called digestion. Because the food contains large insoluble food particle that cannot be utilized by our body directly, so that food particle has to be broken down into smaller water soluble molecules, and that is done with the help of digestion. Digestion completes by using physical as well as chemical methods. So the breaking down of food into smaller substance, that can be done by two methods: physical as well as chemical. Physical method involves chewing and grinding of food in mouth by the using teeth. In physical, what do? We break down the large pieces of the food into smaller pieces physically, and we do it with our teeth. And the chemical method involves addition of digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are those chemicals which break down the food particles chemically into the smaller particles. Now, in human, digestion occurs in mouth, stomach, and small intestine. These are the three parts of our digestive system where digestion occurs. So, first of all, we'll talk about the mouth. So, mouth opens into a cavity. That cavity is called buccal cavity. So, this is the cavity inside the mouth, that is called buccal cavity, and this is the front view and this is the side view of the mouth. And buccal cavity contains teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Okay, you can see that in our buccal cavity there is a muscular organ that is called tongue, then we have teeth, and there is the glands which are known as salivary glands. We have three pairs of salivary glands in our mouth which secrete saliva. Now, the teeth help in physical digestion, means it breaks down the food into smaller pieces. Salivary glands, what does it do? It secretes saliva. And tongue helps to mix the food with the saliva, and because saliva make the food moist and easy to swallow, so the our tongue help to mix the food with the saliva so that we can easily swallow the food. And you know that tongue also contains taste bud that we use to take the taste of the food. Saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase which digests starch to maltose sugar. So in saliva we have a enzyme. That enzyme is very important and that is called salivary amylase, and that salivary amylase digests the starch present in our food into sugar, maltose sugar. So the digestion starts in our mouth, and the carbohydrate starts breaking down into our mouth. Now we will talk about the another part of our digestive system, that is esophagus. So esophagus is a tubular or structure that connect the mouth with the stomach. It is a muscular tube-like structure which connects mouth to the stomach, and the slightly digested food enters into the stomach, into the esophagus from mouth. As the food enters in the esophagus, its wall start a series of expansion and contraction movement. That movement is called peristalsis. The slightly digested food from the mouth goes into the esophagus that connects the mouth to the stomach, and as the food enters into the esophagus, its wall start to contract and expand in a wave like pattern to push the food further forward. That movement is called peristalsis, and that peristalsis helps the food to pass on into the stomach. And you know that you have to keep this in your mind that no digestion takes place in the esophagus. In the esophagus digestion doesn't take place. Now we'll talk about the next part of our digestive system, that is the stomach. So the food starts from the mouth, it goes on into the esophagus, then it enters into the stomach. And esophagus and stomach is having a valve that is called esophageal sphincter, which allows the entry of the food into the stomach and controls the food control the movement of the food from esophagus into the stomach. Now the stomach has branched and tubular gland present in its wall, and the secretion of these glands are collectively called gastric juice. So in the inner wall of the stomach contain glands. That glands secrete the mixture of substances that is called gastric juice. The gastric juice contain three things. What are these things? Hydrochloric acid, protein digesting enzyme called pepsin, and mucus. So the substances that are secreted by the wall of the stomach, they are hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Three things are secreted by the wall of the stomach. Now what is the work of the mucus in stomach? So the mucus help to protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid under a normal condition, because the hydrochloric acid is secreted in the stomach and it can harm the inner lining of the stomach. So there is the secretion of a substance called mucus which protect the inner lining of the stomach from hydrochloric acid. And hydrochloric acid in stomach. So hydrochloric acid create an acidic medium which facilitate the action of the enzyme pepsin. So pepsin needs acidic medium for the activation, so the hydrochloric acid gives the acidic medium to the pepsin enzyme. In the acidic medium, pepsin uh, enzyme break down the protein into the peptones. So you have to keep this in your mind that pepsin is the protein digesting enzyme. It acts on the protein and breaks down into the peptones. Thus the protein digestion start in the stomach. And another work of hydrochloric acid is to kill the many kind of bacteria in the food that reach to the stomach with the food. So it kills the germs and bacteria that we engulf with the food. So it also protects us from the infection as well. Now we'll talk about the another part of our digestive system, that is the small intestine. The small intestine is not really small, it is about 6.5 meters long, and it is the longest part of our the alimentary canal. And the length of the small intestine differ in various animals depending on the type of food they eat. In different animals, the length of the small intestine can vary, and their length depends on the type of food they eat. Okay, so the herbivore animal that eat the cellulose, uh, that have longer small intestine to allow the cellulose to digest. As you know, the plants contain the cellulose, and cellulose is a tough material that needs much time to digest. So that's why the small intestine of the herbivores are longer than the carnivore animals, so that the cellulose can have enough time to be digested. Now, on the other hand, food like meat is easier to digest. Because of that, the carnivores like tiger that eat meat has a shorter and smaller intestine. The small intestine in human is the site of complete digestion of food like carbohydrate, protein and fat. So whatever the food that we eat, like carbohydrate, protein and fat, all these food particles are completely digested our small intestine. So the digestion completes in our small intestine, and the secretion of liver and pancreas are required to complete the digestion in the small intestine. So we will understand the role of liver in digestion now. So liver secretes bile, which contains bile pigments and bile salts. Bile is alkaline and contains salts which help to emulsify the fat present in the food. So liver is the organ that secretes bile, and that bile is goes into the another organ that is called gallbladder and stores here. Then after from the gallbladder, then the bile come into the small intestine. So the bile juice first of all made by the liver, and it gets stored in the gallbladder, then it comes into the small intestine. And bile performs two functions. What are these two functions? The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to be made alkaline, so the pancreatic enzyme can act on it. So whatever the enzymes that are secreted by the pancreas, they need alkaline medium, and the food that comes from the stomach into the small intestine, that is acidic. So the bile juice make the medium alkaline in the small intestine, so that the pancreatic enzymes can work on it. Now, the bile salt break down the fat present in the food into smaller globules. This increase the efficiency of enzymes to act and digest the food. Another work of bile is to emulsify the fat. So this process is called emulsification, in which the large oil droplets are converted into small oil droplets that by the action of bile. That process is called emulsification. By doing so, the enzymes get more surface area to break down the oil and fat droplets. Now we will understand about the role of pancreas in the digestion. So pancreas is another digestive gland which are found under our stomach. Beneath the stomach there is an organ, leaf like organ, that is called pancreas, and it secrete the juice, that mixture of substances that is called pancreatic juice, which contain digestive enzymes. What are these enzymes? The enzymes which are present in the pancreatic juice are trypsin and lipase, and this trypsin digests proteins and the lipase breaks down the fat. So you have to keep this in your mind, that trypsin is the enzyme which is secreted by the pancreas and it breaks the protein. So, and lipase is the enzymes secreted by the pancreas and it breaks the fats. Now the next step in our nutrition, that is absorption. After digestion, when the carbohydrate convert into the glucose and glucose and the fat convert into fatty acid, and the protein convert into amino acid. Okay, so whatever the substances that we get from the digestion of the food, that are taken up by the wall of the small intestine, this is called absorption. So whatever the nutrients that we get after the digestion of food molecule, that like sugar, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol, they are taken up by the wall of the small intestine and it goes into the blood. That process is called absorption. And the inner surface, for the absorption, the inner surface of the small intestine has million of tiny finger like projection called villi. The presence of villi gives the inner walls of the small intestine a large surface area. On the large surface area of the small intestine, absorption of food takes place quickly and goes into the blood. Okay, the digested food material present in the small intestine, it has to be transported into the blood through the with the help of villi. And you can see here this is the villi present in the small intestine, and these are the finger like projections. These are the finger like projection that enhance the surface area, and inside the villi there are the blood vessels in which the blood flows. So the substances which are present in the small intestine, they get absorbed into the blood with the help of villi, and they get transported to the different parts of the body where there the food is needed. Now the fourth step of our nutrition, that is assimilation. The blood carries digested food to all parts of the body where it gets assimilated into the cell. Assimilation means to use. So the food that is needed to the different part of the body, it is transported by the blood, and where it is used to get energy as well as for growth and repairment. During the process of respiration, assimilated food is oxidized to produce energy, and the digested food that is not used by our body is immediately stored in the liver in the form of glycogen. So keep this in your mind, that the excess food material that is not used by our body at that time, it is stored in our liver. In which form it is stored? It is stored in the form of glycogen, and this glycogen can be utilized as a source of energy by the body in times of need. So whenever it is needed, the glycogen is further utilized by the body. Now the last step of our nutrition, that is egestion. So after the digestion, whatever the food which cannot be digested and which is not usable, that undigested food passes from a small intestine into a wide tube called large intestine, and the first part of the large intestine is called colon. Walls of colon absorb most of the water present in the undigested food. So the large intestine has the work to absorb the water, excess water present in the undigested food. Thus the undigested part of the food becomes almost solid, and the solid undigested food enter into the last part of the large intestine called rectum. So the first part of the large intestine absorb the excess water and salt from the food, and become that undigested food becomes solid, and that solid undigested material goes into the last part of our large intestine, that is called rectum, and where it stays for some time and then passes out from our body through the opening called anus, and that undigested waste food material is called feces. The feces contain undigested solid food. The exit of this waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter, and this removal of undigested, unusable food material from our body is called ejection. Here you can see the large intestine. So this is the large intestine present in our abdominal region, and from here this is the part colon, and here the water is absorbed, reabsorbed, and salts and water are reabsorbed by the wall of large intestine, and then is go into the last part. This is the last part of our large intestine called rectum, and here the waste material is get stored, and then after it is released by our body with the by the process of egestion. So in this video you saw that you saw the steps involved in our in the nutrition in humans body, and this is the digestive system which involves in our nutrition. So that's all for this video. Thank you.